crossover event that kind of started this off, where it was just like, the two brothers that just kind of like they have like they kind of have like this friendly it's like a gentleman's agreement that they kind of do, except the stakes are very real, where they declare that they're gonna have all these battles, right, between the best superheroes that they have, and they end up deciding, okay, well, what's the stakes? It's almost like trading places, like how
Yeah.
Mortimer and the other guy, like they make the bet for $1 over like
Yeah.
whether or not they can whether they can like ruin somebody's life and then like
Yeah.
replace him with like a homeless guy, and then like make and then the home and like everything would be like basically the same except like reversed,
Yeah.
where like the stakes between this is like, all right, well, like they won't fight to the death, but whoever's team wins, like their universe gets to go on, and then the other universe is just destroyed.
Yeah.
It's like, what the? It's like, you can't do that. That's so messed up on so many levels. Like,
Yeah.
like you're just like, oh yeah, we could just kill everything in the universe, and I don't know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it too is really unfair for the Marvel side because, I mean, Superman is pretty much a Deus Ex Machina. I don't think there's really much in the Marvel universe that contend with him because, I mean, pretty much like
I mean,
every comic alludes to the fact that Superman is basically God.
Yeah.
Like he's like the only person that could ever kill Superman was friggin' Doomsday. Otherwise he only has like his one weakness is kryptonite, and that's like, that's the only thing. And Doomsday was the only one that actually could beat him by like brute strength because that's how strong he is.
Well, because he's also like of Kryptonian descent.
Yes.
And I mean, also like even the green kryptonite, like in certain storylines, like Superman, like I guess more of like the recent ones, Superman isn't as like deathly weak to it as he was in earlier ones. Like in a lot of like Superman things that you'll see or you'll read, like the second that the green kryptonite shows up, even if the person was like holding it in their pocket the entire time, like, and he has no problem. This I always thought was stupid. If like Lex Luger's Lex Luger, oh god,
Luger?
If Lex Luger jumps out of the Lex Express with like friggin' with kryptonite like armbands, then Superman can't do a damn thing about it, and then and then WCW goes out of business. So and then Scott Steiner shows up and does like a triple double axle equal axe. So his 36,000. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, no, Lex Luthor. If Lex Luthor was wearing a 3-piece suit and like Superman has no problem like kicking his ass, and then like within the next shot, he takes like the tiniest sliver of like kryptonite out of his like pocket, which I highly doubt that like those layers of clothing would really like stop the radiation from doing anything. But the second that Superman like glimpses this thing, he like immediately starts like dying.
Yeah.
Which I always thought that was the dumbest thing in the world.
Maybe Superman's like weakness to kryptonite is like completely psychosomatic. Like he doesn't like actually have any weakness to it, but he thinks he does. So it like his superpowered brain just like makes his powers go away and like kill and like hurts him.
I mean,
it's like completely psychosomatic.
It could. It could.
I think they did it. Well, they did do. I forget. It was the DC animated universe. I think they did a storyline either in the Superman cartoon or in Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. I think where Lex Luger ended up actually having like cancer. Or
Lex
something.
Luger? Yes. No, you're on the
Lex
script
Luger.
too.
Yeah. No, I'm on it. He started something with that. That was a Robot Chicken bit where like Superman like keeps getting tricked into saving people just so they can take a picture and go viral, right? And so, like, this one kid goes like, "Hey, Superman, Lex Luger just planted a bomb in the middle of town," and And then Superman's like, at this point, like, it's like the boy who cried wolf. He's like, "Oh, Lex Luger, the wrestler, really?" And then like Lex Luger, the actual wrestler, like beats the shit out of him, and it starts parading around with a bomb in the middle of town.
I gotta see.
But anyway, it was pretty hilarious. But yeah, so like I think they did a gimmick or a story. Yeah, gimmick. Now I'm like stuck on the wrestling thing. They did a storyline in
it always
DC.
comes back to wrestling.
The DC animated where Lex actually ended up having like cancer or something from all the years of carrying the kryptonite around with him.
Oh wow!
He ended up getting like cancer or something from it, and like had to like. I forget what he builds like a robotic suit that somehow like stops his cancer from spreading. It's some weird like convoluted comic book storyline, but like it was like wow, that's like pretty dark. Like
yeah. Do you mean like the big mech suit that he like fights Superman with?
Yeah, but it wasn't like I don't know. It was like something that he was wearing. It was like it wasn't even that big of a suit. I don't think it was like a regular suit. Like, but it was like almost like a skin. Like I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird storyline.
Okay,
it's like all the it's again for a freaking. I'm pretty sure it was the DC animated. So either Superman, the animated series, or Justice League Unlimited or something.
I mean, the animated series they were allowed to be darker and like they didn't.
Yeah, they were
like, but like they still held the boundary between where it was okay for kids, but it was also like great for adults too. So like everybody could sit down and enjoy it. Like as a 30-year-old, I still enjoy watching the animated movies the animated shows just as much as I did as a kid, if not more.
Yeah, Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker was like amazing.
Oh yeah, that was really good too. Just all of it.
And the Batman the animated series was one of my favorite cartoons when I was a kid. It was so good. That's like why I love Batman because of that. Like that's Kevin Conroy is my Batman. He's my headcanon Batman forever. Like
oh yeah, I totally agree. And Mark Hamill as the Joker. I like just. There's nothing that stops that. Like if I'm reading a comic, those are the voices that I hear in my head when like as I'm reading the words. But the result of like the DC Marvel fights, like so the first 6 battles, like the creative team went through with them and like they determined who was going to win, and then like the 5 that were the difference makers. The readers actually voted on who would win the fights, and then like they did the other ones, and we actually don't know who won the last fight. So like I think they tied it up. Yeah, let me see here. So like the first fight was like the results that like the creative team came up with were actually like pretty logical too. Like Aquaman fights Namor the Submariner. Aquaman obviously DC, Namor Marvel. Aquaman wins by summoning a whale to like just squish him basically. So like since he can't like move, he like loses Namor, which that's fine. Elektra fights Catwoman, which I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess Marvel just didn't really have like too many women that weren't X-Men.
Yeah.
At the time, so like Elektra, I mean, I guess it's okay. Elektra versus Catwoman, I think now that we have more, I don't know. I can't really think of who would actually be good against Catwoman that like doesn't have powers. Yeah, I mean, Black Cat was kind of like. Black Cat was kind of like the poor man's Catwoman, so like, like I feel like Catwoman would just like wreck her. Anyway, like Elektra beats Catwoman by cutting off Catwoman. She cuts her whip as and Catwoman's like hanging from a building that's like under construction, but she falls into a dumpster filled with sand. So like they do the whole like cat litter thing. I don't know enough about Elektra to really say, but I feel like Catwoman could probably like take her.
I think so.
Like she's like I don't know.
Elektra's got some kind of isn't Elektra like undead or something? She's got some kind of like weird supernatural element to her or something.
She does have some like spiritual like thing, but I don't really know enough about her. I've watched the Daredevil live Netflix show, which I'm glad that they're like going to reboot it on Disney Plus, and they're still going to go with Charlie Cox as Daredevil. I'd like it if they continued it, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. She had something, but like I don't really remember. It's been such a long freaking time.
Yeah.
Then the Flash fights Quicksilver. Like most of the Marvel characters representing them are X-Men, by the way.
Yeah.
The Flash fights Quicksilver. The Flash wins using superior speed. Well, I don't know what that means. I'm reading the Wikipedia.
Yeah,
I wish there were in a little more
cause,
detail. I guess maybe he just runs around him a bunch of times and like just.
I mean, it's implied that Flash can like alter physics because of how fast he can move. Like,
yeah,
fucking vibrate his like atoms so he can like go through a wall and like just phase through matter. You know, so
yeah.
I don't ever think Quicksilver was like meant to be that fast. Like he's fast, obviously. Like, and I like the way they kind of did it in was it X-Men Days of Future Past, I think, where he kind of like where the mansion blows up and like it's almost like everything's in slow motion and Quicksilver just like is like running through and like saving everybody, and he's like, but like everything's moving in slow motion. He kind of like interacts with the environment while he's moving so fast, you know.
That's my favorite scene in that movie.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool scene.
Like I actually really like Evan Peters as Quicksilver too.
Yeah.
I like how they like brought him back, kind of for WandaVision, but but like it's kind of weird how they wrote him. So like we're not sure if he's Quicksilver or if they just like did it, like, or if he's just like some guy. They don't really really show him doing anything. So like we're not totally sure.
Well, now that like Marvel or Disney has acquired Fox and the rights to Spider-Man from Sony, they're implying more and more they're going to do like this multiverse where like they're going to bring back all the characters from the old movies that before it was the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films and all that. And they're basically all going to be canon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just like from a different parallel universe, which makes sense because I mean they have that in the comics too.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean,
the Ultimate Comics and all that.
I mean, the rumor for the new Spider-Man, the No Way Home, I think it's called, is like it's supposed to be like a Spider-Verse thing, and like supposedly they've like gotten Tobey Maguire to like reprise his Peter Parker.
Tobey Maguire and also Alfred Molina, who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2.
All right,
he's been confirmed.
I don't know if they got Andrew Garfield or not.
I believe they also got Andrew Garfield, and I think they got Jamie Foxx to play. What was it? He was Electro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't watch the Amazing Spider-Man movies because they weren't that good.
I saw the first Amazing Spider-Man. I never got around to the second one, but I really wanted to. And then the reviews came in, so I like kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the Flash, like I totally. I would have the Flash win too. Like it's kind of a no contest. And the Flash and Superman, they have that, that classic comic where they just have like the race against each other for charity, just to see who's the fastest. And like, obviously, it like stuff happens where they have to work together, so they like can't really finish the race. But then at the end, they do finish the race, and we of course never find out who actually wins.
Yeah.
Which, my money's still on the Flash.
I would say Flash, just because his speed is like physics altering.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the whole Flashpoint event is and like this whole other alternate universe that he goes into, like is basically created because he runs so far back in time that he just creates a new universe.
Yeah,